Hello and welcome to the Popcorn Junkies. It's been crazy busy. There's all sorts on the channel, but tonight we have to react, or I have to react, to Indiana Jones 5, which has got a title as well as a trailer, which is rather exciting. So, what is the title of the new film? It's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Dial of Destiny, as in dialing a phone. The dial. Ring, ring, the dial. Or something round and something like you dial, you can contact, connect. Now, I've heard on the grapevine, or I've heard in the press, that this film returns back to Indiana Jones's sort of arch enemies, the Nazis. And I have to say, I don't think any of the Indiana Jones films have ever quite matched the Raiders of the Lost Ark thing. I mean, who can ever forget that great villain with the glasses who burnt his hand on the sort of medallion that went into the spike that then kind of showed the location of the Ark of the Covenant. You know, he was such a great Nazi. And all the Germans and all that kind of stuff. And that era is just 1940s and all that kind of thing. So apparently in this film they will youthify or make young Harrison Ford so that we can say, and I'm kind of, I'm not a big fan of that. The Irishman, not great. But in this, part of me almost is desperate for a bit of old indie. So a little bit of old indie with a little bit of new indie. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in there. There's been talk and chat and gossip about whether she is going to inherit the mantle of Indiana Jones. I can see how casting her, I can see her as an archaeologist. She has that sort of academic aspect to her, doesn't she? So I could see that. I'm not entirely convinced that Indiana Jones can survive beyond Harrison Ford. I mean, this is Harrison Ford's last outing. It's directed by James Mangold. He did the film Ford v Ferrari, did he? He's a capable pair of hands. So it's not directed by Spielberg. And in a weird way, I'm kind of pleased and relieved about that, because I don't feel that Spielberg has been firing on all cylinders for quite a while now. Wasn't a fan of West Side Story, didn't see the point of it. And I'm hearing mixed opinions on The Fabelmans. Some love it, but there's a huge number of people who think it's bad. So, and quite a number of Spielberg films in recent years I haven't been particularly sort of enamoured with. Now, obviously, this is the fifth Indiana Jones. The other Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. Not a great title. And if I'm really, really honest, I'm feeling that this title is not entirely dissimilar. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Can't say the title is rocking it for me. Anyway, all we've seen so far is a rather brilliantly moody kind of profile photograph of Indiana Jones standing with his bullwhip. I want all that stuff that we had before. It's that sort of 1950s, 40s-esque hero, dusky, sand. It's got to be sandy. I mean, they're archaeologists, for fuck's sake. So, they're digging in sand. It's got to be sand. And if you get away from sand, and so sand and Nazis has got to be good. I want his bullwhip. I want his gun. I want his hat. The iconography around Indiana Jones is just fantastic. So, maybe there needs to be a new archaeologist called Arizona Wade or something like that. Anyway, let's check it out.
I miss the desert. I miss the sea. And I miss waking up every morning, wondering what wonderful adventure the new day will bring to us.
Those days have come and gone.
Perhaps not.
Hey, look!
I don't believe in magic. But a few times in my life, I've seen things I can't explain. And I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe. It's how hard you believe it.
Who is this man?
I'm her godfather.
related.
Get back!
So many nostalgic little emotions re-triggered and ignited and flicked back into action. All his hat, his bullwhip, his gun, all there. The archaeological college with the misty light coming through the sort of stained glass windows, if you like. The classrooms, the lecture hall, the stunts in real cars with people being separated as cars come through. Or like the classic reference back to the original film where he uses his bullwhip and they pull out a gun, whereas of course he pulled out a gun after the man did the scimitar and all that kind of stuff. Nice reversal there. Just a brief moment there with Phoebe Waller-Bridge's godfather. Could he be her godfather? Is that real? Sallah! It was Sallah, of course. I was wondering whether with some of those other characters from the Nazi Germany era, whether we had the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark who burnt the kind of, the medallion into his hand and all that kind of stuff. I hope it'd be nice if René Belloc was in there. That wonderful line at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark where he says, "At last, Mr. Jones, what is yours is finally mine." Just brilliant. So, one part of that I wasn't convinced by, though. He does look about 80. I was struggling to believe he would be on such fast-moving horses. I found the ticker tape American procession. I found the CGI on his face whilst he was on the horse or whatever he was doing there, on a bike or whatever it was, not entirely convincing. That, for me, was the least well-rendered part of all of this. But I'm up for it. I'm so up for it. The bashed old sort of World War II motorbikes. Love all that shit. That's all brilliant. So it's 70% there. But there's 30% of the more modern stuff. Like the underwater stuff. You don't want underwater in Raiders. Sorry, we've got Avatar. We've got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We've got enough water. We've got Aquaman. Forget all that. You don't need water. Yes, there's archaeology to be found. But not in an Indiana Jones film. And finally, of course, you can't watch a trailer like that and not comment on the iconic music, the seismic, era-defining, sort of swashbuckling Saturday morning entertainment. I mean, I think the one thing that George Lucas was absolutely, obviously he created the story for this, the one thing that George Lucas is absolutely sensational at is creating characters and plots and storylines and worlds, realms that totally come out of that Saturday morning television sort of series. You could see Indiana Jones as a battered old series. I think if it ever went to TV, I think they should do it in that vein, sort of old series. So, and this is going to be John Williams' last outing, I believe. He's 90 years old, only 10 years older than Harrison Ford, and he won't be composing anything else after this film. So a little bit of a sort of swan song there for John Williams. What do you think, guys? Does that excite you? Does that tickle your nostalgic ivories?